There's a lot of lights that have to happen for this stuff. It's kind of crazy. So the Trexel Big Water case has quickly made its way into basically my everyday carry. I mean, I'm gonna cover this in a future video. I keep talking about this future video thing. I have some plans to do something pretty fun and cool that everybody will get a kick out of. So yeah. So this tying tips video isn't gonna be exactly like the others. It's gonna be a little different. Hot. We're in my kitchen. I'm gonna let a buddy of mine explain.
What is up, internet people? I'm Matt Grajewski, spelled just like it sounds. And today, we're gonna dye feathers with Kool-Aid. So first of all, this isn't something I came up with. This has been around for a while, not sure who did. A friend of mine, one of the smartest people I've ever met, Bob Brindle, showed me how to do this many years ago. I get asked about it a lot, so Brian Wise, aka Pitbull, aka Mr. Worldwide, thought it would be a good idea to make a video about it. I wrote down a few things that I want to make sure that you guys know as we're going through this pretty quick. Just going to be a lot of video, so a couple things before we start. Well, first of all, Kool-Aid is a very easy dye to use. It's inexpensive. Comes in a fair amount of colors. Obviously there are some dyes that are better, but this is a simple way to do it. But Kool-Aid stains almost anything it touches. It makes you wonder if people should put it in their bodies. Probably not. Still tastes good, but use a container that won't stain and try not to get it on anything else. That's gonna be pretty important, especially if you share a home with someone else, a wife, a girlfriend, won't love it. So you're gonna see in the video, I'm gonna use a measuring cup when I do this, but I just ballpark it. Doesn't have to be perfect. You wanna have roughly 1/4 part white vinegar, 3/4 part water before you add the mix in there. You wanna then heat that mix until it's steaming. Doesn't have to be, there's no certain temperature, just needs to be hot, needs to be steaming. You'll see in the video that I use a microwave. You can do it on the stove top if you prefer. White is obviously gonna be the easiest feathers to use. Blank canvas, white, all the colors should pretty much show up the way they want to. The longer you leave it in there, the darker or brighter, depending on what color you're using, it's gonna be. If you take it out, you rinse it, it dries, it's not what you like, just go ahead and repeat that process. So you could do single feathers, a handful of feathers, full saddles, whatever you wanna do. Each one's gonna require a little bit different time of sitting in there, so you may have to mess around with it a little bit. If you're experimenting, definitely do just like one feather, because you can mix Kool-Aid mixes together to try to get your desired color. For example, if I want a little bit darker orange, I do orange, add a little bit of like cherry, and see if that gets me the darker orange I'm looking for. Besides white, like yellow works pretty good. Again, imagine you're dyeing yellow, so that color dye isn't always gonna come out exactly like that. Just gotta mess with it. Chartreuse can be a good one. Any of the lighter colors like a tan, like those all can all be pretty good. So that's pretty much it. I mean, have fun with it, mess around, and try not to stain a bunch of shit.
Okay, Google, how do you spell Matt Grajewski?
Matt Grajewski is spelled Mattgrajewski.
Even Google pronounces it like that. Right? So if you're not familiar with Matt, just in case you live under a rock, whatever, he is the guy behind Adaptive Fly. I'll have links to all his information in the description of this video. Great guy, hell of a fisherman, crazy awesome tire. I mean, just crazy awesome. It's been a couple years, but I've done some tying videos of his flies. I'll also link those in the description. But great guy, and he's really my inspiration behind this video. Several years ago, I had the bright idea to talk to a deer processing place and ask them if I could buy their tails. Turns out, 200 tails later, I had a pretty good idea how to take care of tails and dye tails and stuff like that. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're gonna dye some bucktail. If you're gonna be drying your own bucktails and doing all that stuff, it's kind of a totally different process. Obviously, all your tails are gonna be white. So you would need to dye the whole tail if you wanna make the colors. And it's as simple as putting this whole thing into your pan, pot, glass container, whatever, and just let it sit. So I have this white store-bought bucktail that I want to dye the tips. The first thing I'm going to do is cut this into 3 sections to make it a lot easier to work with. In order to dye only the tips, I've got my Kool-Aid mixture with vinegar and water in a glass bowl. I have a small chip clip and a wide chip clip. Small chip clip goes down on there pretty far. Next step, the bucktail has to be wet. I recommend hot water. And get them to where they're pointing in one direction like that. So I have my hot Kool-Aid and vinegar mixture with the little chip clip. Put it where we want it. Clip it in. And let it do its thing. To do two-tone, I've already got my super hot lighter color tone over here ready to go, and it's been sitting in the darker tone for a little bit. So take it out, change the small chip clip, and we're going to dip this a few times just a little bit past the red, and then clip it again, let it do its thing. Definitely not recommended to drink this after you're done. Just saying. back in the studio. The one thing that we really know about dyeing all these materials is the more natural the base, the better off you'll be. But you can take a dyed bucktail and turn it into something that's pretty cool. This is a dyed yellow bucktail, and I did the tips red. Yeah, so just a few notes, little tips. Obviously, the longer it sits in the dye, the better it's going to be, the more vibrant the colors are going to be. Also, the hotter the dye, the better it tends to turn out, especially with bucktail. Just definitely be patient with it. Let it do its thing. You don't only have to use like a straight color of Kool-Aid. You don't have to go strawberry only or orange only. You can start to mix colors. Just kind of fair warning, you're going to get to brown really quickly if you start putting a bunch of colors together. But mixing colors and stuff like that is a lot of fun. It's actually pretty cool. We've done that in the past and came up with really, really neat stuff. And these two-tones tie a really cool fly. So I want to say thank you to Matt. Again, all of his information will be in the description of this video. Please go check him out. He does some exceptional stuff. And on my channel, I'm going to do his yard sale pattern like really soon. So yeah, should I do a like and subscribe? Everybody does the like. Please like and please subscribe, and I kind of hate that. No? Yeah, I don't think so either.